can't erase. Thanks for all the dirt you threw on my name.
And that must only mean one thing. We have Matt Sassano here. This is Drew, Radio 13.fm. And once again, I am just so blessed, honored, fortunate, whatever word you want to use, to be talking to my good friend. I can say good friend, Matt Sassano.
Yeah.
Matt, how you doing, brother?
Hey, man, it's been good. Greetings from snowy Tennessee, man. We've been snowed in for the last few days, but the podcast and everything have kind of helped, subside the boredom a little bit. So I'm glad to be here for a second time with you.
Man, it's the second time in like 2 months. You're like a regular now. I love it.
Keep coming out with these songs, man, hitting the circuit. I'm like, I got to get on Drew's show. So,
Oh, man.
yeah,
Well,
man, I've had some good chats with you, and I'm excited, man, for what's to come.
And I really appreciate you jumping on and giving us an opportunity to talk about it. I know you got new music on, but I would be remiss if we didn't first talk about Fuel, the song I was just playing. Number one song on Christian. Is it, which station is it on?
Christian rock radio. Yeah.
And they have like
general.
they have like 87 different stations going on at one time. I'm a little bit jealous of that, center. But I'm a little bit jealous of that. But man, number one. Is this your third number one now?
Yeah, it's so strange, man. We've been on kind of this streak where it's like each and every single I've released so far started with Not My Name, was kind of my introductory track. Then we followed it up with Dear God, which was kind of like more insight on the story. And now Fuel, we were just so surprised to see the song's trajectory, man. It's just amazing to kind of know that people are still continuing to resonate with it. And, dude, so yeah, we're on like a 3-for-3 streak right now. And knock on wood, dude, you know what I mean? But we'll see how it keeps going.
Well, I don't know. I have a feeling you're going to go 4-for-4, man. And that's a good day in anybody's book. So a little bit.
Don't jinx me now. Don't jinx me.
Yeah, you're like a kicker. I'm trying to jinx you, man. So let's talk a little bit about Fuel, because that song it just hits so hard, man. I love the fact that you're talking about all of this negativity that's coming your way, and with certain people that would just drive them down. For you,
Yeah.
You take that and you say, hey, you know what? Basically, hey, thanks. I appreciate that. You gave me fuel, man. I'm going to take your negativity and I'm going to soar with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like an accumulation. I think that a lot of times the things that really matter to me to write, a lot of my stuff is autobiographical. So I take a lot of things from life experience and just combine them all together in this big thing. So you get to know a little bit more about my story and hopefully see yourself through my story with every release. So, we had talked previous about how, I had grown up with a lot of disabilities. I have cerebral palsy and I have another disability called dyscalculia. And so a lot of my life was feeling misplaced. A lot of my life was people doubting me. A lot of my life throughout school was kind of being bullied, being picked on. And really the song is a reflection of all of that. And, it's just basically my thank you letter to all of those people that kicked me while I was down, that ultimately just made me stronger. And I wanted to create a song that the average listener could listen to at the gym and pump them up. But I also like to write songs on the different end of things where it opens up, spiritual conversation. So I took the scripture, no weapon formed against me will prosper.
Yep.
And that was kind of my loosely based, kind of inspirational scripture for the song. And so I like to do things where it's like, autobiographical, but you can open up a range of deep conversations, and that's what Fuel's all about.
Yeah, and it's a great song. What I love about the song, what I love about when I follow you on your socials, Matt, is people will say, this doesn't sound very Christian. Where's God in all of your songs? And you come back and you just start getting them. Well, it's this verse here. It's this book here, and I love how you
Yeah.
absolutely do not back down. You're unapologetic about your faith, and you don't cowtail down to the critics.
Yeah, definitely. I think that there's something to it where it's like, you know, I like to write songs that maybe even if you're just not like a Bible believer at that particular point, it's cool to just write songs that like somebody that might just be working out at the gym or running, laps or, has a hefty workout playlist, they can listen to that. But in asked in interviews or something like that, they get that deeper meaning, you know what I mean? And so now they already like something that has a profound meaning. And I think that that's really important with songwriting. That's how bands like that I admire, like Skillet and others, do it as well. And so that's kind of just just my style, I guess I could say. I love, you know, having this broad base, but also kind of when asked about it, you can say, hey man, it did come from a very deep place and a very profound place.
Yeah, and your songwriting is just so solid, man. It's just right there all the time. I dig the songwriting. I think the first song that I heard of yours was the collab you did with Zana, and the name is
Yeah,
escaping.
man, that's
Me.
enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and starting with that, and then not my name came, I think next in for my library, and I'm like, this dude is just incredible. How he will take his own personal biography and in the best positive way, just punch you in the face with it, man. I dig on that. I dig on that a lot.
Hey, well, I was talking about this yesterday on social media. If you knew, like, part of the reason these number ones and everything mean so much to me is if you knew, like, how much thought and paranoia goes into each new song, you would be like, dude, because like I am my own worst competitor, and I literally when I write songs, I literally need like some people can just spit them out. Like there are those talented people that can just spit those songs out, and it's all perfect. For me, I lock myself. There's a whole process. Lock yourself down. You know, don't do anything. Ignore your phone calls. Try to, and then nitpick lyric for lyric. And so I admire those people who can write them fast.
That's
But
why I put the phone down and just concentrate.
exactly, man. It's just even if I have like a podcast on a particular day, I don't like to like write or anything like that because I just need. I'm one of those people that I need that isolation, and so I don't even know where I was going with that, but yeah, like it's just one of those things where I'm grateful that people are resonating with it and like really do take time to listen to the lyrics that I put so much into because I literally call friends, man, do you think I've lost my talent? Like, is this going to be as good as my last? Like, I'm asking a range of questions before we even go to release. And so, man, it's great to hear people still resonating.
So what'd you say? February 22nd. We've got a new song coming up, soon to be number one song.
Oh man, yeah, man, I am super excited that we're on the cusp of a new song. Like I said, I've been working with Mary Nickel, and again, this was another Josiah production down at the ranch, and so I got to
Out of the
check
rank.
in with Josiah,
Nice.
and yeah, so Happy Family will be the next single we release. This is the second podcast that I've actually even released the title, and it's not even supposed to drop until the 8th. But we'll keep it here. We'll keep it locked, and yeah. So I'm excited, man.
Well, thankfully, some dude in Vietnam stole our Facebook page a few months ago, so we're rebuilding. So we don't have as many followers as we did previously. So not a lot of people are going to know about it, Matt. We're good, man. We're good.
Hey, man. Well, I'm pumped about it, and it's just another deeper dive into my life, and hopefully, um, other people can resonate with it and find healing through the song's transparency.
Now you're releasing this as an independent, correct?
Yeah, so the last couple have been independent because of just some schedule constraints and things with Rockfest. Like I said, I always love those guys. from Seventh Day Slumber and with the Rockfest family and everything. But
When do they have
I came into
anything in the studio? They're always on the road. I mean, it's crazy. So I don't know how they'd have time
yeah.
in the studio.
I don't know how they have time to do anything, man. Like when I come off a 7 Day Slumber tour, like I I don't know. It's just a whole different experience. And Josiah said to me one time, like before I had even done my first one, like he looked me dead in the eye. He's like, "Man, if you can tour with 7 Day Slumber, you can tour with anyone." And I literally saw that to be true because man, they never quit. And so really still on great terms with those guys. And but for the last two releases, we just kind of mutually decided, hey man, maybe it'd be best for you just to kind of see what you can do as an independent. And yeah, I was glad to see people still resonating, still streaming on Spotify. And so I've really taken a lot of what Joe has taught me and the rest of the Rockfest team and tried to, try to, what is the word, appropriate it for myself,
Go out, do it on your own, and you know what? I mean, you do that. Number one, to me, it would be kind of scary to do that. Number two, but once you've hit a couple number ones in a row, doesn't it give you that I don't know, that confidence? I'm going to say, I'm going to say not self satisfaction, but it's going to give you that confidence that yes, I am on the road that God wants me to be, and I can do this on my own.
Yeah, man, and it's been really cool how it's been working out. Like each and every time in my life, there's this strange narrative where it's like as soon as something ends, another door kind of opens, and it comes with a fair deal of paranoia. I'm not going to say that like I just blissfully walk through life and like oh yeah, it's going to be great, but like it is kind of weird how like you know once enough you mentioned with Zana, like it was the first song. Once that producer and I kind of went our separate ways because he got busy, then the door with Josiah opened, and then when Josiah opened, then the Rockfest thing opened, and it's just been funny to watch me be able to assemble my own team this time around from all sorts of different places and things like that. But again, I credit Joe and the Rockfest team for kind of teaching me the infrastructure of how everything works in a release cycle and how to make it happen.
And now you're hooked up with Josiah. You mentioned off the air actually. You have a producer in New York, Mary Nichols. She's there helping you out. Number one, I'm so glad that I got on her email blast because she has a lot of great information, man.
Yeah, it's just been so awesome. Like I said, Mary Nickel is the founder of Rock on Purpose. She does a lot of work with bands like within the scene. Like she's just a one woman kind of she's that kind of person that just like helps all the bands out. She works with a lot of nonprofits for human trafficking and things like that. So she just constantly has her hands in all these things. So I've been working with her with the release, and I've also coupled with a guy Kevin Jackson who's not only been doing my mixing, but he's also like helping me with some of the lyric videos and um, like I just recently started TikTok now, so I have taken the plunge
Nice.
from I've
Matt
given up on
Sassano
the dignity.
TikTok. You got to do the TikTok dance, man. I want to see Matt Sassano TikTok dance.
Yeah, man, I am I'm on the TikTok train now, and so he's kind of helped edit some of the TikTok videos that like describe some of the content that we're doing, and it's weird because he's from Elmira, New York, like I was telling you 12 years ago when I was in my first ever band. He had wanted to work with us, but we just never saw that window of opportunity. And about the time we were kind of just looking for a mixing guy, his name popped into my head. And like we had called him, and not only did he just qualify for the job, but like the way he got behind the music, he really loved what we stood for. And he's just like, yeah, man, I'll help you with this, this, and this. So really, between Kevin, Mary, Josiah, and so many others, I've been able to kind of like facilitate my own team to kind of bring me to this next season of everything. And when we hit number one, yeah, like a week ago on Christian Rock Radio, there's Kevin, the mixer guy from New York, texting me like, "Oh my god!" So it's just cool to be bringing some new people into this fold and getting the satisfaction of, just expanding the scene. Now Kevin is getting new work with bands that he's looked up to and listened to because of the mix job that he did for Fuel. So he was like, "Man, I got this opportunity now," and so I feel like by doing this, I'm helping in some way expand the Christian rock scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's where we're on the same page, man. I mean, like I said, I know where Radio 13 is in the food chain. I understand it. I don't fool myself. Coming from terrestrial radio years ago, up in Minneapolis, a much bigger market, you know, it's a way of humbling, but it's also a way of for me to really stay involved and try to assist the Christian music industry as much as possible. And even if it's reaching one extra person, if we turn one person on to Matt Sassano and his three, soon to be four number one hits, you know what? It's good for us, though.
Hey man, like I said, I'm always glad to be here with you and stuff, and I'm just glad to see what you're doing, and it, it's God's will, it'll grow, and you know I have high hopes for you, man. So I mean, as somebody who has always been the underdog, I always root for the underdog. So
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? We got two underdogs in the building,
Yep.
and gotta keep each other afloat. But man,
Any
always
other?
glad to be on your show.
Oh, and I just love having you on, man. I truly do. I just think we got a great connection. What else you got coming up in 2024, man? Besides, I know February is going to be a busy time for you, but after that, what's going on? Hitting tours? Are you hitting?
Yeah, man. So we are currently just in works to try to get back out on the road. I'm looking to. I'm in partnership with a nonprofit right now, and we just started that endeavor. And so we've been doing a lot of behind the scenes work with that. But my ultimate goal really is to go out with maybe even now I'm a solo artist, but I'd love to go out with like a drummer and a guitar player. And we're working on some new things for 2024 as far as just building things up, getting a new show, kind of organized and everything. And so it's a lot of the behind the scenes work that we're doing just kind of propel through 2024. And yeah, just we'd love to travel and do a lot more, but it's always that like, okay, what do we, we're you know what I mean? Just like the behind the scenes of like getting everything ready and rocking for it.
And I would imagine, as someone that has no talent whatsoever, as it says, talentless host right on there. As someone that has no talent, I would imagine your songwriting process has to just eat up a ton of your time, also.
Oh man, like I said, I don't like to even start a song unless I have a pretty blank day. I've been consistently writing, you know, as much as I can because I never want to reach a point where like Josiah or somebody says, "Hey man, let's do like two or three songs," and you're like, "Oh, dude, I never want to run out." So I always try to like stay ahead of the game just to ensure quality. But this new Happy Family song is really, I feel like it's something a little bit more vulnerable than the last stuff. I mean, I love Fuel and I love what I've done with Not My Name, but Happy Family is going to be a very vulnerable song. It's all about I grew up with a lot of domestic abuse and stuff like that. And so my heart goes out to people that are in that position where they're obligated to uphold a fake family image. And that really is what Happy Family is all about is like, the obligation and the pressure to smile when you don't feel like smiling and kind of to just walk around as an unpaid actor in your life. And so I'm really hoping that this song will get people to be transparent about what they're going through because that's the first step. When I was going through a lot of it and there was tensions in my parents' marriage growing up and I would go to school with black and blue marks, I was so desensitized to it that I never even really knew what to call it. And I knew also that, my dad being a pastor, there was a lot of fallout that would result in it. But as soon as I was able to call it what it was and have that peace of mind of like, okay, this I'm not delusional. This is real. I was able to kind of make peace with it. And so hopefully through this new song, new people will come in the fold and be able to get the same liberation I got by just recognizing it for somebody who relates.
Awesome. You know, I feel so bad that you just said something that I guess I never realized. I didn't realize you were a preacher's kid. I'm a preacher's kid.
Yeah, man.
There it is. That's the connection, baby. That's the connection.
Dude, you're a preacher's kid as well?
Yeah, actually, both my mom and dad were ordained ministers.
Oh, no joke, man.
Yeah, we had
Oh, that's awesome.
a family gospel group that went around. Rosu Family Gospel Singers.
Really?
Yep.
Dude,
So
now, you don't
yeah.
become the DJ at a Christian rock station without going through your rebellious phase, right?
Oh, you had to, which is check this out. They were a country bluegrass gospel band. That's why I hate country. I won't play country on Radio 13. It was just so inundated to me, and yeah. But no, yes, I was the stereotypical preacher's kid. They always say in a small town, you stay away from the chief of police's son and the preacher's kid's son. And that
yeah, man, I was in the same boat as you, kind of. You know what I mean? And so I had the blue hair and the piercings and I kind of stuck out as far as even in a small town, like in my small town, like I was definitely looked the most, radical back then.
yeah.
I've toned down a little bit now, but back then, man.
Yeah, I've settled down a little bit, but I mean, it is what it is, right? So.
Hey, man, we're still playing rock and doing rock, so I mean,
Yep.
that's all good. But,
Absolutely,
yeah,
man.
it's great to know, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, brother, I just want to thank you again for jumping on with us, giving us the opportunity to talk about not only your previous success with what you have going on, but give us a little inside track on what's coming up in I will call it Sassanotopia in Matt's world.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, Sassanotopia. That could be your TikTok handle, by the way. You can do your dance to Sassanotopia. Anyways, man, thanks so much for joining or for coming on here. I always appreciate talking to you, brother.
Yeah, same to you, man. You keep out of trouble, and we'll see what happens with this new single, man. I really appreciate you.
Yep, sounds good. And once that new single drops, we're going to play it. We'll be one of the first people to play it again on March 22nd or February 22nd. We'll be dropping that in the rotation on Radio 13. Matt Sassano, we dig on you. We love on you. You take care, man. And you need anything from Radio 13, you got it, baby.
Hey, man, thanks a lot, guys.
You're about to hear something I never thought I would say. Thanks for the misery and these scars I can't erase.